we're going to Battery Oldenburg. It's just outside of the old refugee camp. Everything's deserted. Even there's a building over here, like a refugee building, I think, where they sort of got all the medicines and stuff like that. And that's deserted as well because obviously the camp's closed down. Now the only way I can see to get round to the back of this bunker place, see it there. There's two of them, two big casemates. Is go this way, which is through it, yeah. The old place, it's just there, but there's a wall there. I need to get through the other side and round. And I said a gap that's been broken into. The gates are gone here anyway, so we may be able to park here, I don't know. Anyway, I parked down there on the corner of the old refugee camp, and we'll go this way. Well, we've come to one casemate here with the metal camouflaged stuff on it. Wow, these bunkers are huge. These casemates were built in 1940 by organisation TUD to support the Operation Sea Lion, the invasion of England. The two large casemates measure 35 metres long and 15 metres high. They had two 240mm captured World War I Russian guns. The guns were rechambered by Krupp Company to take 255mm shells. However, they still could not reach the south coast of England. Both casemates are slightly offset for better fire coverage of the English Channel. There's also a couple of 621 and 629 casemates, personal casemates here. I think we've just walked over one of them. It's 3/4 buried. This looks like one of the personnel bunkers. Yeah, and it's all sealed up as well. Big bunkers like this, big strong points, tend to have a lot of other stuff going on with them, especially these size here. They'll have hospital, toilets, obviously sanitary. They'll have machine gun nests. They'll have flat towers, searchlights. There's all sorts of things that'll have here. They still stand the test of time, but there's a big crack in that one. It looks as though probably the foundations are giving way. But it's not on the beach, so it'll last a bit longer. There's some ventilation shafts there. I'm not sure what that is yet. It could be actually, to be honest with you, I'm not sure, unless it's like some kind of drain for the roof. So how are these bunkers built? Well, in order to get the Atlantic Wall up and running, you had to have some kind of standard design. So the German government, I'm assuming, or organisation TUD, came up with an idea of what they call Regelbau, which is standard design. The only thing with the standard design is it had over 700 in its catalogue. It's a heck of a lot. So this is a casemate. I'm not sure where it is. I'll have a look in a minute and I'll obviously let you know. This was one of the biggest ones I've seen. It's absolutely huge. What do they put together? Well, what they do is they basically make a trellis frame, metal frame, and then what they do then is they'd make shuttering around it, usually timber. You can tell the shuttering because you can actually see the shuttering lines here on these here. That's usually the timber. Plenty timber and plenty spragging. What they do then is they get a mix of concrete, which is sand, cement chippings, and water, pour it in. But what would make it super strong is they would use some kind of vibrating machine. And as they put the concrete in, as they're putting the concrete in, they would put these big rods in, and it would vibrate, and it would aggregate all the actual sand and cement and chippings, and it would get rid of all the bubbles. And you can tell that because there's no basic bubbles on that side, there's no bubbles there. So you know that they've done some kind of vibrate on that. And what it does then is it consolidates everything, so it's going to consolidate the sand and cement and chippings, mortar, sorry, the sand and cement and chippings, which is the concrete, and it would also bind tighter and be more solid on the structure itself, and that's a reason this has become super strong. This is over 70 years old, and to be quite honest with you, yeah, you're going to get cracks in, obviously, because it'll expand and contract with the weather, but generally these bunkers are in really, really good condition for their age. Oh, and by the way, they still use that type of system now in concrete, in foundations and stuff like that, and I've done them a couple of times in that sort of job. But yeah, they still use that sort of technique when they put in foundations in properties and stuff like that. Well, they've still got the old basin where the gun was. There's the sides. And there's the top. There's an unusual sort of metal. Normally they're usually concrete, them things there, but the gun must have been that big, it needed something to support the top of it and the bottom of it, while it turned and fired on the channel. And then holes at back there, besides ventilation, they're called overpressure valves, or overpressure vents. And I think the idea is when the gun's fired, there's that much pressure, back pressure, it needs to go somewhere. Now, obviously, you don't want it to go into any of your soldiers, so it has to be released somewhere. It would have been released through these holes here, I would assume, anyway. Yeah, subterranean building. Can't get into it. They bricked it up, but they knocked it partly down. And also lots of stuff saying down there, but I'm not going anywhere. This big concrete base may have been for obviously to give it some protection against, you know, enemy fire and stuff like that. And that's how the circle looked like that as well. See how the circle like that? That stop any shells or fragments hitting and bouncing back in. So the idea is it hits it, and it should bounce out, really. But some of these, especially when they're built on sand, they come right out. And the idea is when the gun's fired, there's a lot of dust and that blows up. And what he's trying to do is trying to stop it from blowing up and going into the actual gun mechanism and destroying it, basically. Possibly an overpressure valve or a vent. Okay, let's have a look at what these babies look like from the